Welcome back to Mcoc AlBundyRules. I got the Tigra tutorial, how to use Tigra video for you due to popular demand and for Kill Code, who has asked me more times than I could possibly count. You were a big motivation on this one, so hopefully this makes you and the others wanting this video happy. So showing you a quick little bit on what she can do when she's used, showing you a little bit of play between her unblockables, between her ruptures, her neutralize, her miss right there. She's got a really cool fun play style. I'm going to break down a little bit of everything in which she does for you, break it down piece by piece, going to put it all together for you, show you how to use it. I'm going to give you a handful of tips on how I prefer how to use her, including a possible rotation cycle and all kinds of other good tips. With that being said, after the little highlights, let's start that tutorial, starting off with neutralize and rupture. On attacks, inflict a non-stacking passive neutralize for 2.5 seconds. If this neutralize is already active, its duration is refresh. So keeping those neutralize refresh is very big part on there. Has a negative 100% chance buff ability accuracy on neutralized opponents. While opponents neutralize, if they fail to buff through chance, inflict rupture, dealing physical damage over 1 second. So you want to keep doing a lot of hits because those hits are going to inflict that neutralize. It's going to keep a refresh. It's going to help keep buffs in control, and it's going to help stack ruptures. So a very good aggressive play style. A few more things she does that really encourages aggressive play style. One reason I've really enjoyed her is I've been getting used to her. Very different play style though. Heavy attacks will have miss and rupture. So when charging, you see how she's ducking? I'm charging the heavy. You see the miss while charging the heavy, and 0.1 second after launching a heavy, all non-contact hits have a 100% chance to miss from non-contact from specials. If Tigra interrupts opponent's attacks or causes them to miss while charging, each hit inflicts a rupture, dealing physical damage based on the SIG ability. Meaning, when you see, you do different champs differently based on what kind of specials they do. The hardest part about using Tigra probably is learning every other champ's different play style and or specials, because to really maximize her use, you want to be able to switch how you're using her. You see how he's doing the S2, I'm charging my heavy and having proper spacing. I'm going to show you a little tip too in case you're having a hard time on spacing, something I do as well, because you get into the heavy charge right there. You see how it's going missing and launching that heavy. If I had bad spacing, I could do a special to avoid getting hit during mid combo, but in big gap on these specials. These specials, when you're far enough away, it's going to become unblockable, and unblockable hits do ruptures. So you see that first hit, I was not far enough away, it was not unblockable. When she dashed back for the next part of that special, it became unblockable. On special attack 1, it's going to alternate between primal and huntress sense for 14 seconds. They're paused when neutralized, so keep being active, it's going to last much longer. Primal sense, when inflicting rupture, deal bursts up to the physical damage scales, damaging debuffs. This damage is increased during the special attacks. And then there's the Huntress, and the Huntress can help gain power while causing a miss on the rupture or the ruptures. Special 2 can do some good damage. Each hit has a 10% chance to inflict rupture, and physical damage does physical damage over 4 seconds. Each damaging debuff on the opponent increases the chance of inflicting a rupture during special attack by a flat 10%. So you got those damaging debuffs, you're going to have a higher chance of the rupture. S2, you can do a lot of damage. I'm going to show you a little bit more about that on a little rotation coming up, but you will see here, you'll also notice I like to dash back first if I'm not far enough back, because I want the unblockable. Big reason I want to have the unblockable during the special, even if it's a clean shot, is because I get those ruptures. So even if I had a clean shot at the end of the combo, I would still usually dash back before I launch the S2, just in order to get that. And you see how I'm kind of cornering him in right there and just going to town all kinds of crazy stuff. I want to show you and explain a little bit better what I'm doing here in the tips section, because what I'm doing there is a good way of helping play her some. Then we got the special 3. You gain the primal sense and huntress sense for 14 seconds. Inflict non-stacking indefinite rupture, dealing the physical damage every half a second. This rupture is removed and reapplied each time Tigra lands an unblockable strike. Those unblockable strikes can land right there. Once we finish this S3, look up top. You're going to see those Primal and Huntress charges, that orange and the blue when you see the timer. And again, watch as when there's Neutralize going on from the hits, you see how the timer stops. So when you get these up, either from the S1 or from the S3 or from the Awakening ability I'll talk about, you want to stay pretty active. You want to keep those ruptures up because it's going to greatly extend the timer. With some pretty aggressive play, you can keep both those up pretty much the entire fight. Then we got Signature ability. This, start the fight with Primal Sense and Huntress Sense for 3.28 seconds. So look at the timers up there though. So only 3 seconds. It's already been more than 3 seconds, right? Because every time we're neutralized, we keep those hits, we got the neutralized timer up there, it pauses, neutralizes off, the timer goes back away. So you want to stay aggressive. Again, you see how the timer started going really quick? It got really low, but now if I can keep hitting, keep staying aggressive, keep those neutralizes up, you see the timer's still up. Each of these incidents, and I'll show you some more in the tips area, you're going to see these last much, much longer than 3 seconds, for example. And again, you're going to get that Primal Sense and Huntress Sense, which is very beneficial to keep them up for those extra damage or power gain going on. Then we have our synergies. We have West Coast Avengers. Opponents have a negative 80% Purify ability accuracy when being struck. Then we have Feline Possession, nullifying unstoppable buffs while the opponent is suffering from the effects of Rupture. That's something that can be very good on some of those unstoppable nodes or champ fights. We have Entree. When fighting a small champ, heavy attacks have a 50% increased attack rate. Nice synergy for those small attack champs. We have Big Game Hunters. When fighting large and XL champs, increase the duration of Rupture effects by 25%. You got the bigger champs. There you go. And then the little generic one on the romance down there. Tips for using Tigra. Tip 1, I got a handful of them for you. Starting with the first, practice charging heavy texture in multiple different specials. So you can get a complete 100% miss on those ranged special attacks. However, some of the between distancing, the gaps between the timing of them, it takes a little bit of practice on different champs. So the trickiest part about Tigra, arguably, is adapting to the different ranged attacks. And you see how each time when I'm charging that heavy, I miss. Another part is going to be spacing how far I'm back. But I'm going to show you a tip on that too, which is a good handy trick in case you don't want to risk doing those long, far-fetched heavy attacks you see me do sometimes. If you're worried about spacing, you can use a special. So what we'll see here, I went into heavy, I was far back, I was worried I might get intercepted in the middle of heavy, so I just went ahead and used a special. You can hit special instead of unreleasing the heavy. Tip 2, use long heavy range to corner and chain heavies on defenders. You want to mostly do it when they have less than one whole bar of power because you don't want to get intercepted with the special in the middle of a heavy. But you see how you can get several heavies in a row relatively easy. A lot of times I'll chain a special to that as well. We saw I caused some miss on the S1, did some heavy chain, then went ahead and chain on that special as well. We'll see those misses there, and after that miss, you see I get them cornered, and I just keep launching those heavies. You see that? Several, that's stacking those ruptures as well is what it's doing on those heavies. A nice, good bit right there. Our next tip, number 3, be very aggressive when Primal and Hunter Sense are active to extend the timer. As I was mentioning a moment ago, again, you see those timers, the orange and the blue one up there. Again, every time I have neutralize going off from hits, every hit causes neutralize or refreshes the timer. The timer for those Huntress ones, they will pause. So it's good to keep the neutralize up for many reasons. This 3-second activation, I had a 3-second activation for the beginning of this fight based on the Awakening ability. However, it lasted over 30 seconds. Tip 4, launch an S1, S2 from a distance, dash back before using. What I'm saying here is before you use the S1, you want to always launch it from a distance. If you're too close and you want to do an S1, dash back. Meaning, let's say you do a combo. In this case, probably 7-hit combo. Don't chain the special to the end of the combo like you would normally do. Do the combo, dash back, then launch the special is what you would do. So if you're chaining it, dash back first. Tip 5, a good rotation starting with the S3. It includes heavies in an S2. So watch this whole little bit to understand what I'm talking about. I like to start off with an S3 because that's going to give me a nice long batch of time with both of her abilities active. The Primal and Hunter senses stay. So now you see them both active up there for those nice long timers from the S3. And I can keep them active for the rest of the fight if I stay fairly aggressive here. Stay aggressive. Once I get him cornered, I'm going to spam heavy attacks, especially when he has no bars of power, and then I'm going to spam S2. So if he has no power to intercept me with a special, I'll keep spamming heavies while I'm working my way up to an S2. And you see me go ahead, corner him again with a bunch of heavies. I bait out the special, do a heavy. Now I'm going to go ahead, do another heavy while I dash back and do an S2. The corner spam heavies in between S2. So I did the S3 and I'm spamming S2s, but in between the S2s, I'm really spamming heavies and I'm staying aggressive. You notice how much time I have on the timer still. I have about 3/4 of time still left, and it's been going for quite a bit as I'm continuing to spam those S2s, stacking those Repsters, doing a ton of damage. I'm hoping you enjoyed this video. Enjoyed making it for us. It was a fun champ. Don't forget to click that top left icon, subscribe to Mcoc AlBundyRules, turn those notifications on. Remember, I got a little something for everyone: champ tutorials, playlist walkthroughs, massive damage, tips and tricks, you name it, I got something that can help you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and share.